It's a fact that people who are confident are more trusted and liked than those who are less confident. That makes confidence a critical skill for success in life or business. These 10 proven strategies will help you develop confidence in the moment, and by mastering them over the long term, you will develop that deep level of self-mastery and confidence that everyone just feels. Whether it's a job interview, asking out the women you like, doesn't matter what it is. If you need to project confidence, if you want people to take you seriously and like you and trust you more, that gives you the opportunities to do the things you want to do in life. Chances are you know or have met someone that has a deep level of unshakable confidence that just transmits through a room like Wi-Fi. Everyone just feels it. True confidence is a state of mind, and it's transmitted by the way we interact with the world. Everything we do or say communicates to everyone around us, whether or not we're confident. And when you have that deep level of confidence, it isn't something you even think about anymore. It just becomes who you are. It's a form of presence that everyone just feels. These 10 strategies are proven not only to help boost your confidence in the now, but over the long term, when you master them, they help you develop that deep-seated level of confidence that becomes just who you are. And then you don't have to think about it anymore. Everyone just feels it. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to throw in a bonus tip that I teach to all of my coaching clients to help you get faster results. My name is Charles, and I've built my business around helping men develop more meaningful, fulfilling, and successful lives. Personally, I was a skinny kid who got bullied a lot, so I know what it means to not have confidence. I know what that lack of confidence feels like and how it impacts your life. And I spent years learning and developing the skills that I'm going to teach you now, so you don't have to go through that long process. First impressions are made before you even speak to somebody. The minute they lay eyes on you, they're already making judgments. So the first thing you need to master to develop more confidence is your physical presence. First thing is your posture. You want to stand upright, head up, shoulders back and down. Think of a soldier standing at attention. This is fairly simple and straightforward. Simply practice this posture as much as you can. Practice it in the mirror. Practice it anytime you find it. The more you practice it, the more it will become automatic, and you'll just simply project that much more confidence. Eye contact is another critical skill. Many people who lack confidence are uncomfortable with prolonged eye contact. Now, we're not talking about staring someone down. We're talking about looking in the eye and thinking about what they're saying. It's that simple. Focus on what they're saying and look them in the eye. If it feels uncomfortable to look them straight in the eye, you can try looking right between their eyes, or you can move back and forth from one eye to the other. It helps bring down that anxiety that you might get from looking somebody in the eye. Next is how you walk. When you walk into a room, you want to project confidence. If you ever watch professional athletes just walking around, they have this kind of swagger to them. This comes from having an understanding of how to use your body properly, and this projects an enormous level of confidence. You can develop this kind of swagger really easily by just practicing walking with more balance. The process of developing this kind of swagger is pretty simple. As you walk, you're simply going to focus on shifting your weight over to the foot that is planted on the ground. So you're going to put on your right and then on your left. As you walk, boom, boom, boom. This is really simple. I recommend every morning before you go to work, as soon as you get up, go for a walk, 10 to 15 minutes outside. And for the entire time, don't listen to music, just practice and think about this walking. If you do this every day, for 10 to 15 minutes a day for a month, you will ingrain this movement pattern into your nervous system and it will become automatic. Now, when you're thinking about it every morning when you do it, it's going to be very exaggerated. You're going to be very conscious of it. But when you stop thinking about it, when you're just walking around during the day and it becomes normal, it will just feel like a normal, natural way of walking, but it will project a lot more confidence. Part 2 is dressing the part. As the saying goes, the clothes make the man. Making sure that your clothes are neat and clean and they fit properly is critical. How you present yourself tells people how much you respect yourself, and subconsciously it tells them how much they should respect you. So making sure that your clothes fit properly is key. Now, a lot of men don't even know how to buy a shirt that fits properly. I'm going to tell you the simplest secret. You want to look at the shoulder seams. This shirt, the shoulders are right at my shoulders. It's not up here close to my neck, and it's not hanging down on my arm. It's fitted right to my shoulders. Find the right shirts that fit you properly. The same goes for everything else you wear, pants, jackets, whatever. Make sure it fits properly. Next is taking care of your clothes. A great wardrobe that's always wrinkled or stained or dirty doesn't communicate confidence. It doesn't communicate that you respect yourself, and it doesn't tell people that they should respect you either. When you do your laundry, fold and hang your clothes immediately. If you don't know how to iron, learn how to iron. Doing these basic steps to take care of your clothes and your presentation will make enormous strides in how people treat you differently. Next comes your mindset. The true foundation of confidence is your mindset. That's the foundation of the house. It's what everything else is built upon. So let's dive into that. More than anything, what's going on inside your head will undermine your self-confidence. Negative self-talk, ruminating, and worrying. These are all things that you need to become aware of. Most men are so used to these things going on in their head, they don't even realize them. The two things I recommend are journaling and daily mindfulness practices. The whole point is just to become more aware of your thoughts and less judgmental of them. Therefore, you become less affected by them. If you choose meditation, I recommend 20 minutes a day for the first 30 days. If you can dedicate yourself to doing that every day for 1 month, you will begin to see serious results. Or journaling. Meditation doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes it can cause some problems for a small percentage of people. Journaling is another great way to just get your thoughts out, get them processing, and become aware of them so that we can see them when they're happening and begin to respond to them appropriately. Next is setting achievable goals. At its base, confidence is the belief deep down inside that you're going to be okay no matter what happens, that you can overcome any challenge. Focusing on setting achievable goals communicates to your subconscious that you will overcome any challenge. Your subconscious doesn't care whether it's a big goal or a little goal, so focusing on small achievable goals on a regular basis makes a huge difference in your self-confidence, and it builds over time. You want to set goals that are achievable but challenging. They push you just a little bit outside your comfort zone. I usually say about 4% beyond what you're used to. The good news is I've already given you some goals to focus on. Walking for 10 to 15 minutes a day, practicing your strut. Meditating for 20 minutes a day for 30 days, or journaling for 30 days. These are goals that are small but achievable. Now here's a tip. Celebrate your small victories. Every time you succeed in a goal, celebrate it. I don't care how small it is. You don't have to make a big deal to anybody else, but tell yourself, I did good. That communicates to your subconscious that you are moving forward, you are succeeding, and that seeps in and that helps build your confidence. Another tip is to make a list of your goals as you achieve them. Then you can go back and look at that list to remind yourself of all the things you've already done. Which brings me to the fifth strategy, focusing on your strengths. We're all good at different things. We all have strengths, but our society often focuses on our weaknesses. If we're not as good as someone else at a certain thing, we see that as a flaw. Make a list of all the things you're good at. I don't care how small it is or how big it is or how weird or strange it is and whether it matters to anybody else. If you're good at it and you're proud of it, put it on that list. Carry that list around with you, whether it's in your phone, in your pocket, in your wallet. Make that list, carry it around with you, and when you need a boost in confidence, pull it out and read it. It's really that simple. Teaching your mind to focus on what you're good at instead of what you're bad at builds your confidence. The next strategy is to step outside your comfort zone. Anytime you do something that is uncomfortable and come at it on the other side and congratulate yourself for having done it, you build confidence. It builds that subconscious belief that you can achieve anything, that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Now, if you're following the goal setting strategy, you're already pushing your comfort zone, that's a great start. The way to level up is just look for opportunities in your day-to-day life where you can push yourself a little more. If you feel that little bit of fear, that little twinge of, I don't want to do that, but it's really not going to cause you any harm, lean into it. Be aware of that feeling of, that makes me uncomfortable, and then become aware of it and say, you know what? That's why I'm going to do it, because it makes me uncomfortable, because it's difficult. Do the hard thing because it's hard. When you look for those opportunities in your daily life, you begin to communicate to your subconscious that you're going to be okay no matter what happens and that you can take on any challenge. That's where you begin to really build that level of deep self-confidence. Which brings me to the next strategy, prioritizing self-care. Now, I keep saying over and over that self-confidence is the inner knowledge that you're going to be okay no matter what challenges you go through. So part of that is facing the challenge. The other part is recognizing that you're okay. Prioritizing self-care is a big part of that. You want to prioritize activities that communicate to your subconscious that you are worthy of love and respect. These are things like prioritizing sleep, making sure that you eat a healthy diet, making sure you get some exercise and you take care of your health, making sure that you have that downtime that you need, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is critical to self-care. It communicates to your subconscious that you are worthy of respect and that there's a line you are not going to allow other people to cross. If they're not going to respect you, you're not going to allow that. I can do a whole video on setting boundaries. If you want to hear about that, leave a comment below. The next key strategy is helping others. This can be volunteering, mentoring, teaching, it doesn't matter. But actually what this strategy is really about is moving your focus away from you to other people. If you think about it, truly confident people aren't concerned if other people are looking at them. They don't need to have that focus and validation from outside, so they don't have to ask for it. By placing your focus outside yourself on other people, you are communicating that you feel good about yourself, that you don't need that validation. And nothing communicates confidence better than someone who doesn't need other people's validation. When you're placing your focus on other people, focus on how you make them feel. You want to make them feel good about themselves, feel validated, feel meaningful, feel respected. But you don't want to take this too far. You don't want to compromise your own self-respect in order to make them feel good. This is where setting boundaries is. You can make other people feel good about themselves without compromising your own values and your own self-respect. Learn to draw that line. That's the difference between somebody who's needy and somebody who's confident. Another hallmark of a confident person is the ability to accept compliments.
Would you sleep with him?
Yeah, probably.
What? You would?
Most compliments are based on a choice you made, and they're validating your values and your beliefs. When you feel uncomfortable accepting that compliment, you're saying that you doubt your own choices. So become comfortable accepting compliments. Now, it's as simple as saying, thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good is all it takes. That's the only thing you have to do. Deflect by saying it's not that big a deal, or I didn't spend that much money on it, or I got it on sale, or any of those kinds of things. Those responses to compliments actually communicate that you don't trust your own values, you don't trust your own choices. So by simply saying thank you and learning to accept that compliment, you communicate an enormous amount of confidence. Now be careful about complimenting people back when they compliment you. If you genuinely want to give a compliment, if you were going to compliment them, but you hadn't got there yet, they just beat you to it, fine, compliment them. If you don't have a genuine compliment to offer, don't do it. It feels inauthentic and they will know it. This last strategy is called embracing vulnerability. This strategy can be difficult for a lot of men because we're taught not to be vulnerable. But the fact is we all have flaws, we all have insecurities, and the trick is simply to call them out. Think of it as calling out the elephant in the room. If you're gonna give a speech and you're nervous about giving the speech, you have it all written down and you're trying to remember it and you're walking up on stage and you feel like everybody's looking at you, the easiest thing to do is simply say, hey, I'm a little nervous like that right now. We're gonna give this a shot anyway. Anytime you have an insecurity or a flaw, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge it to yourself and to everyone else. When you can acknowledge those things and say them out loud to the people around you, it makes everybody else feel more comfortable because they also see that, hey, I feel that same way. I can really relate to this guy. And he had the courage to say it. That communicates huge levels of confidence. Embracing your vulnerability, acknowledging it to yourself and to those around you when it's appropriate. Trust me on this one. It might feel really awkward at first. Try it a couple times and you'll be amazed at the level of respect you get for it. And those are my 10 strategies. And as promised, here's the 11th, the bonus one. I teach this to all the men I work with. This strategy is so powerful, you'll see results in a few days to a week. It's amazing, and it's really counterintuitive, but it works. So here's the thing. Every time you meet somebody new, every time you have an encounter, your brain thinks up scenarios where something could go wrong, where you could be embarrassed, where you could make a mistake, where you could be made a fool of, and it thinks about those in the back of your mind and causes anxiety. So the trick is to eliminate those scenarios before they happen. Let me give you an example. You're at work. Suddenly it turns out that you guys have to do an off-site. And so your boss is like, hey, we're all getting in a car. We're all going to this off-site. My car's in the shop. You're driving. And you know that there's a bunch of junk and trash in your car. Your office is gonna come and look in your car and see it's a disaster. That's gonna freak you out. Even if this scenario never happens, your brain knows in the back of your mind that if it did, your car's a mess and people are gonna judge you for that. That's the kind of anxiety that happens in your brain. It creates scenarios that may not even be close to reality and will never happen, but it still creates this anxiety that you walk around with. You carry it in your body and it communicated in your posture, in the way you talk. The simple solution is to eliminate them. Here's the things that I recommend that all men do and build into your daily life. 1, make your bed every morning. It's really simple. Wake up, make your bed. Just do it. Now, a lot of men think, well, nobody's gonna come to my house, nobody's gonna see it. But in the back of your mind, if you get lucky, if you get to bring a woman home, you know that bed's made, it looks good. Another is never leave the house or go to bed with dirty dishes in the sink. Clean up your kitchen. It's really simple, it only takes a couple minutes, but by developing that habit, again, your mind goes, oh, if I get lucky, if I bring somebody home, it's all done. And it also communicates a level of self-respect to yourself. When you walk home after a day of work and your kitchen is clean and your bed is made and your house looks nice, that's communicating that you are worthy of love and respect because you're showing yourself that love and respect, and that builds confidence. Those are my 2 big tips. Do those every day for a week and see if it doesn't just lower your anxiety level and just make you feel more confident. I'll bet it does. If you try it for a week and you feel more confident, leave a comment below. So there you have it, 11 strategies to boost your self-confidence quickly. But wait, there's more. Yeah, it's just like one of those infomercials. This is the gift that keeps on giving. When you can focus on each of these strategies over a period of time, say a month for each one, and really ingrain it into your person, make it how you think, how you move, how you interact with the world. As you develop each of these habits and they become part of your identity, you begin to develop that unshakable self-confidence that you were looking for. It's no longer a quick strategy to get confident for a moment. It becomes just who you are. And that's when confidence becomes presence. You no longer think about, does this person respect me? Am I saying the right thing? Is this okay? You simply do. And that's when you developed true presence. When you're the guy who walks into the room and everyone's like, who is that? And I can tell you personally, having that level of presence is amazing. When you have somebody approach you and just ask you, who are you? I don't know you, but I know I should know you. And that has really happened to me. That's happened to my clients. When you develop that level of self-confidence, your whole life is different. Opportunities opened up to you could never imagine. Everything becomes easier simply because you are who you are. You are your authentic self. You're no longer worried about being validated by other people. You know you can survive whatever challenge comes up. That is true confidence. Now, if you really want to dig in deep and develop truly unshakable self-confidence, there's a link down below where you can click to schedule one-on-one consultation with me to see if coaching is the right fit for you. I work one-on-one with a handful of people. I only take the most dedicated learners, men who really, really want to make a difference in their lives and become their best selves. So if that's you, click the link down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.